What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. You are very much appreciated. You know it. I see you from all over the world. Thank you so much for being here. So today we're going to talk about Uganda. Yes, Uganda. Please put a map, African map and Uganda map for some of our brothers who don't know where Uganda is. Uganda is called the Pearl of Africa. Beautiful place. Lovely people. Some of the biggest party animals I've ever seen. In Uganda, people party every single day. Monday, Tuesday, when I don't know how they do it. You'll think these people are rich. They're not even rich. No, they're not. But they party every single day. You know, when you go out and you're talking to somebody, okay, so what are you going to do tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow, I have to be to work. I'm going to work tomorrow. Yeah, it must be at work at 9 o'clock. What? It's 3 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. He's like, I'll be at work at 9. Anyway, thank you very much, my Ugandan people, for your Jebaleko, Basebora, Wanyabo. Okay, so today we're talking about Uganda. It's a beautiful place. Like I say, if you have a chance, go visit. A U.S. firm under AGOA stops Uganda import over. They say several countries in the United States under AGOA have stopped buying textiles from Uganda, citing the enactment of the Anti-Homosexuality Act 2023. This was revealed by President Yoweri Museveni during a passing out of Uganda Prisons Service in Kololo. So you know what's happening, fellas. Uganda passed a law that prohibits men and men being together. It's a very hard law, but on the other hand, it is part of their culture. Okay, it comes to traditional culture, religious, whatever you call it. They do not believe in that. Now, because the fact like many young people of Uganda were being recruited into the movement, into men being with men, they felt they needed to pass a law. Okay, that's their country. I mean, who are we? I mean, this is whatever it is. Some people may not like it. Some people may like it, but it's their country. There's absolutely nothing you can really do about it. Now, because of that law, the US and US companies and several other entities have stopped buying textile from Uganda because they told Ugandans, we're going to punish you for this law, okay? If you do not stop this law, we're going to punish you for this. And they did. In fact, Uganda used to receive about 300 million from the US. The US used to help Uganda used to finance Uganda, helping people living with HIV in Uganda. $300 million a year. And because Uganda passed the law, they decided not to give the money anymore. Now, my question about that was, if you're sending money to help people living with a disease, why do you stop because the president says he doesn't agree with your way of doing things? What does that have to do with the people with disease? I mean, these people are sick with chronic disease. Why do you stop helping them? I mean, if you genuinely wanted to help them, I don't see a reason why you should stop. They don't decide the law. They don't choose the law. Anyway, President Museveni said the in the US are interfering with our export of textile. This man is crazy with his words. He said the in the US are interfering with our export of textile. Some of the orders have been cancelled there, he said. He's very cocky and very, very picky. But I'm not concerned about that because the money you have been squandering with the second-hand clothes, importing other people's fabrics, is much more than what we are going to earn from the sales in the US anyway. So what does it mean here? A lot of Ugandans used to buy second-hand clothes. Okay, second-hand clothes came from the US being sent to Uganda. Okay, basically, I'm sure certainly you've heard about this if you live in the US. NGOs come and say, okay, please give us some clothes. Let's help some people, poor people in Africa. The poor child has no clothes. He's suffering. He's in difficulties. Have a good heart. Give us some clothes and some money. The money, people never see the money. The money is squandered between themselves. They take the clothes that you give them because you're a good person to send to Africa. They put it in the ballots and boxes. They go sell it in Africa. They don't give these clothes to poor people. They sell it. And because many Ugandans and many Africans for that matter, unfortunately, have difficulties, they don't have a lot of money, they will go buy these second-hand clothes. Now, Museveni recently abolished or completely stopped the sale of second-hand clothes because we realized that big companies in the US make a lot of money selling second-hand clothes to Uganda. So Uganda, as well as Rwanda and many other East African nations, decided, you know what, we are stopping. We are not importing second-hand clothes anymore in order to promote our textile industry locally, to help the people, the designers, the local workers, to actually showcase their work. We are not buying second-hand clothes coming from the US anymore. And the US government did not like that because it's a big market for the US in Uganda. Then this is the reason why the president says, I am not concerned about that, because the money you have been squandering in second-hand clothes, meaning the money Ugandans have been spending on buying second-hand clothes from the US, is much more than the money we are going to earn from the sales in the US. It's much more than the money Uganda earned from textile in the US. So Uganda has been banned from AGOA in this instance. So what is AGOA? AGOA is an initiative of the US government which began in 2000, where eligible countries including Uganda export many things, and Uganda exports textile and agricultural products to America, tariff and quota free. So basically, these African countries that can export some of their products to the US to export at a very acceptable price, not having to pay a lot of tariffs. In other words, extending their market. Many countries benefit from this, including South Africa. But unfortunately, AGOA has been used against many African nations as a tool for manipulation. Like lately, they accused South Africa of sending weapons to Russia. Okay, they wrongly accused South Africa, and they were menacing South Africa of cutting the contract with AGOA, saying you're not going to be beneficial of AGOA anymore because you've been sending ammunition to Russia. It's only lately that President Ramaphosa had to confirm after investigation, saying, you know what, South Africa has not been sending weapons to Russia. Therefore, you need to stop menacing us. So AGOA, on the other hand, as much as it sounds like something positive for Africans, opening up the borders of the US for African markets, agriculture, many other things, and sales of cars like BMWs and Mercedes from South Africa going to the US, a tax reduced. AGOA is also a way to access, Africans, a way to manipulate them. Let's say, if you do not do things as we want you to do, we're going to be kicked out of AGOA. If you do not represent our values, you're going to be kicked out of AGOA. So Uganda is just another victim of the situation. Basically, you're going to accept men being with men, women being with women. You're going to let them do whatever they want to do in public. Nobody needs to bother them. Or else we're going to kick you out of AGOA. We're not buying your textile anymore. We don't want it. So the President Museveni has been very strong with regard to this. He says, no, you can keep your money from textile. You can keep your money for HIV. We don't want it. No, thank you. And lately, the World Bank refused to sponsor Uganda, refused to lend money to Uganda. And Uganda said, you know what? We actually don't need money from you anymore. We're going to start producing our things right here in Uganda. In a very provocative way, President Yoweri Museveni said that the in the US are interfering with our export of textile. Some of the orders have been cancelled. He doesn't care. So we know also that Uganda voted the law. When was the law voted? Following the report that the recruitment of Ugandan by gay groups, especially students, was raising parliament, egged by the religious leaders, voted the law against that. So Ugandans say, you guys can do whatever you want to do in private. Okay, you can kiss whoever you want to kiss in private. You can go do whatever you want to do in private. Don't do it in public. Respect our tradition. Okay, respect our tradition. Do whatever you want to do in private. Respect our tradition. That's what they say. Now, are they wrong to say that? I don't know. Are they right to say that? You tell me. But we also know that this is not exclusive to Uganda. If you go to Saudi Arabia, you cannot do that. Okay, and number two, in some of the countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, all these other Muslim countries. If you're flying, let's say you're going to Philippines with your girlfriend, do you know that you cannot even sleep in the same bedroom together if you're not married? You need to provide marriage certificates before you're allowed to sleep in the same bedroom. Yes, or else you're going to have to rent 2 different rooms. These are their laws. Do people respect those laws? Yes, they do respect the laws. Do Americans respect those laws when they go to these Arab countries? They do respect the laws. In Dubai, for instance, people go and have parties, people go and enjoy themselves. Great stuff. But do you know that in Dubai, there are specific areas where tourists can actually go walk and do whatever they want to do? There are some areas in Dubai you cannot go walking wearing a short. It's not authorized. In Dubai, you cannot go walk in some areas cuddling your wife, even if you're husband and wife, giving her kisses like you like. You're not allowed to do that. Do people respect the law in Dubai? Yes, they do. Tourists respect the law in Dubai because that's their tradition. That's the way of life. You cannot go to somebody's house and try to impose yourself and force them to be how you want them to be. Is it okay that you respect Dubai, but you do not respect Uganda because it's a small African country? They don't have as much money and power as Dubai. They don't have the petrol or the oil of Dubai. I don't know. In other words, they're not hunting people to do this to them. They're not doing that. They say, go do whatever you want to do in your house. Don't come in public and try to teach us how we should live. This is not our tradition. We're not going to accept that. And for that matter, US decided to suspend the aid to the people living with HIV. They cancelled visa of Anita Onong, who is the chief of the parliament in Uganda, and many other things. And you can see very slowly, they're trying to push Mr. Museveni into a corner. And because he's a strong man, clearly he's not falling into the pressure. Let me know how you feel about this, fellas. Always a great pleasure. Is it okay that they put pressure on Uganda with regard to this? Uganda said they don't care, okay? You can keep your second-hand clothes, we don't need it, okay? You can keep it out there. Now that you don't want to buy our textile, that's cool also. So you do your own things, we do our own things. Is this okay for President Museveni to take this route of arm wrestling against the West? Is he going to win this? Is this dangerous? Let me know how you feel about this. Always a great pleasure. God bless.